Hello and welcome to Warblock. Today I'm going to look at the first South Ossetian war for the second time. I did this as my last video. In fact, it was yesterday. I don't think matters in YouTube time from my last video. A couple of things have changed. There's a few new infantry companies on both sides, and these are slightly more powerful than the ones that have been added here, but it gives a little more dimension, takes the focus away just from these battle groups, as I sort of like to call them. But essentially, I'm just going to jump straight into sort of play mode. Now, my strategy yesterday was to sort of try and attack these straight on, and, well, to be quite honest, I could probably do that. I mean, I messed up with this one. The odds there haven't really changed. There's an extra unit here, I think. Possibly an extra one there, nothing extra there. I don't think there's an extra one there. This is new. It doesn't really matter. I mean, for example, this wasn't there before, this wasn't there, and what that does, it forces these units to sort of well, essentially, you know, these units here would have just gone straight down here, and everything would have piled down here, and there just would have been this huge, you know, face-off here. This would have been a major face-off, but these units, as they are, can sort of do things that will force these units to contend with them. Similarly, this unit can sort of come through here. Now, I've done them as infantry, because to be quite honest, they should really be all infantry, because these trucks really don't do well going through these wooded hills. They can only move one hex. But the main reason for actually redoing this is because I want to. I think the strategy. I think I'll take a different strategy. It's not too complex a strategy, but instead of actually attacking them, just head straight for the objectives. I mean, if I head there and there, and I sort of ignore that, there's nothing he can do. It's not so he can invade Georgia. He then actually have to sort of naturally fall back and try and naturally just use his unit to complete blocking me, because although there was some quite heavy exchanges, I sort of feel that the balance of this game is sort of what I want it to be, in the sense that because it's an open game, you're really just manoeuvring your units to block each other, or to actually attain whatever objective you've got, as opposed to engaging in a in-pitch battle. So I sort of show you maybe what I mean by just sort of getting into it. And for example, this guy, well, we don't really want to sort of get too in draw mode. For example, I'm going to move there, and I'm not going to be able to do anything else, and that's all my move. Here, what I'm going to do, again, I think he can only move one. But here, we're going to ignore this. Well, maybe not, because it's only one little unit. I think I got a 4-to-1 on him before, so I'll probably commit that as a battle. But here, because he's actually in wooded hills, he's multiplied by 3, so it's worth 9, and I've only got 5. I've only got 11 against him, so it's a 1-to-1. The odds aren't actually really that good, but I can just go straight round him. Now maybe I should have. No, that's fine. I don't think anything else has got any more movement. And he's going to actually, well, I'm not going to go into there because it's too dangerous. He's going to stay there where he's worth 3, so that means you can only really get a 1-to-1 against him. But we're aiming for the central heartlands here. I mean, there's nothing to stop him just taking all of these places. And similarly here, we're going to move straight into Gromi. Now that's the first sort of major move that the sort of Pandar, instead of contending with these units, he's actually just, you know, moving into the towns to take them. Now here we've got a choice of this one or this one. Now historically the Georgians, I made a note that they took a lot of this, took a lot of that. They also took a lot of this. You know, this is all came into Georgia. This was all held by Georgia at the end. I mean, I can either go for Zemo or Kazusi. I don't know which is going to be the better. That puts me on a path, but the path doesn't go anywhere really. And what I'm trying to think is balancing that against, you know, all of this. I think I'm going to go into there. No, I'm going to go into there. That gives me at least a turn grace to sort of sit there. Because I mean, if he comes over, he's got to actually make that journey to me. And so does he. I mean, they might be able to move. He might be able to move there and attack, but you know, it commits a greater effort to get me. And here we've got almost exactly the same situation, although it's slightly different, because no matter which way I go, there's going to be a fairly large unit in my way. I don't know. I don't know, I'm going to have to maybe come back to that. I don't want to spend too long thinking. Okay, so he's going to move straight into Kaveen, Cozy. And here, so he'd be worth 9 and I'd be worth, again, 11. It's just not what I want to do. So I'm going to demonstrate my tactics, so to speak, by moving just into there, just ignoring him. And again, I've got artillery. Let's just see. I want to move the artillery, and I can actually move it two on this. So we're going to fire. I think we're going to fire at that. I mean, we've got to really make some effort to get rid of some of this stuff. So we'll fire at that. Point 4. So he's got to stay static, which he probably will next turn, but he's got to stay static if he wants to recover that. And that stacks up quite nicely, and we'll push him into there. And push him. Now, there's not really anywhere for him to go, but he could spend, you know, the next 20 years. You know, by the time he gets up to here, it could be time Russians come on. It'll be 28 turns later, but so we've done all those movements. And I'm not attacking there. I'm just not attacking it. But what I can do is, and this is a sort of relatively, I don't know how much movement he's got. Anyway, let's do attrition. Oops. No, nothing. Now here, I think I'm going to have to commit to an engagement. Okay. Let me just go back and look at the map. See, what I really want to do is actually move in there with something, although he's got such a lot in there. Well, he doesn't really have a lot in there. Okay. Can I afford not to use 2 motorised units? I think I'm going to do that. So these two motorised units, and we're going to commit him for a nice 5. These 2 motorised units are not going to engage because we want to actually use them to follow into that hex. It may be not the most crucial thing, but I want to make sure that he doesn't just move back in there. I've still got the 4-to-1 odds, and I've got a DR, so that's good. He's still got some movement with quite a few other units. So he's got full movement, which means he can move into there. They've still got quite a bit of movement each. And he can move into there. Now let's look at the map. This is interesting. This is very interesting, because it's one of these scenarios where, I keep saying this, but I could, for example, I could have just created one of my normal, regular, easy to make scenarios about that big, and just about this. In fact, that is, to some extent, what, maybe I shouldn't do this, but let's look at the Georgia one. Now this is from sort of like 10 years later, the Battle of Tskhinvali. Now this is where we actually are at the moment, but this is 2008, and the other one is like 2002 or 3. But that's where we are. We're actually coming across. So this is exactly almost what I was just saying. And there is, it's crazy really, because it's almost a perfect match, although there's more woodland in the other map. But what I'm doing is coming across, I've gone into there, and this is impassable, but in this one it is passable. So it's interesting to compare them, but they are basically the same place. There's Tskhinvali, there's the border, and there's the river. But in this one, the border, the river is uncrossable here, but once it gets to here it becomes crossable. And I'm there, which means I can fight across here. I've got a bridge, but also the crossable river. So I really can't get my head around what the odds are going to be. So I'm just going to do it. Should be at 2 to 1, I think. 2 to 1 and a DR. So that was nice. Now, do I have enough movement to do anything? Nope, not with him. I'll get him in there, but maybe that wasn't a good idea. Well, at least I've got 2 units in there. 3. Okay. So there's only 2 minutes left. So what we've got there is the representation of the Battle of Tskhinvali. So we've got some heavy sort of, we're in the hills around Tskhinvali, and we've come across the river, across the bridge. We've fought back these 2 units. One of them went into there, I'm guessing. This one here, at 4.73 depressions, and he retreated. He's now at 2 depressions. So we've got quite a nice little advance there. I'm quite happy with the way that's worked. And everywhere else, we sort of, I'm not going to, I don't think, have I done that attack? Or was I waiting to do it? I think I'm going to do that. But everything else, what I'm trying to convey here, and I only got 15 minutes, now that, especially now that YouTube doesn't let you combine videos, which means I'm limited to the amount of time I can play. But I'm only really doing introductions, just to give you an idea that you can play them. But for example, here, there's not much that can stop me getting to Devalura, and then I can just go straight round Mossabrini, and start taking all these things out. And like I said, I think in either this one or the other one, it's one of the things that appeals to me is there's more objectives than there are units, and so if I just bypass this unit, he's going to have to leave that spot and then move further down the road to sort of, block me somewhere else. And it's a different strategy than just trying to fight that, because I could lose. And so, but I can always use attrition on them. So I could attrition these units. Let's just maybe do that quickly, just to sort of demonstrate. Used up all my unit move. Anyway, I think that gives you an idea. There's only a few seconds left, so I'll leave it at that. It's an interesting game. If you want to play it, you sign up and you can play it online, and see how you fare.